Baruch.
Solika Chachwal. Interestingly, Rabbi Ari ben Shushan is together with the group from Rabbi Eli Stefansky. They went to travel to Morocco, and they didn't even realize that today is the Hilula of Lala Solika, and they ended up on being that was their itinerary is to be in Fez today, and they're there. So it's unbelievable that the Siyata Dishmai that Lala Solika's Hilula causes people from all over the world to come and visit. The truth is that there are many different stories said about Solika Chachua, Lala Solika. Last year we said an account from Rabbi Yosef ben Naim, who was one of the prominent scholars of Fez, who was niftar in the 60s, buried in the city of Fez. But this story happened in 1834. So, I mean, he lived quite a time after, but the exact accounting of the story is actually recorded in a few different sources. And one of the sources that last year I discovered was somebody called Eugenio Maria Romero, that it was written originally in Ladino. According to him, he spoke to eyewitnesses. Enthusiastically, I addressed myself to an eyewitness of the scene, and he writes exactly the accounting that he saw. Now, this book was translated in English, a very flowery and fancy English, called The Jewish Heroine of the 19th Century, a tale founded on fact, translated from the Spanish, Eugenio Mario Romero. Now, the truth is that there's a lot of embellishment over here, but the facts that are recorded seem to be quite accurate, especially it's coming from eyewitnesses. He says, there, speaking with ocular witnesses of the sad scene, I saw the bitter tears flow from the eyes of her respectable parents, and thinking on the past, I shed mine on the spot where the unfortunate victim first breathed. So here he discusses in the fall of 1834, that's where Chaim and Simcha Chachwal were, and they had two children. They had one Issachar and the other one Solika. Now Solika just finished her 17th year, and she was considered by many extremely beautiful, to the point that there's others that talk about her that they have never seen such a beautiful girl in all of Morocco. It seems to be, although it's written in an exaggerating form, over and over you do see that there was a certain shine in her, a certain specialness. And her father, being a businessman, together with Chaim and Simcha Chachwal, who used to host, apparently in his house, used to host Gemara Shiurim, and he was a learned person. They say, Solika would be at home helping her mother a lot. And from the account that he writes is that it was natural that she would help out, and in order to have a little bit of breathing, she would go to her. She would have friends, and one of her friends over there in the city of Tangiers, there was also Muslim friends. So she acquainted a Muslim friend, and she felt that she could confide in her. Unfortunately, this friend, who her name was, according to this book, again it might be a made-up name, but her name was Tohara de Mismodi, who would pretend to absorb all of her misfortunes, and she confided in her, and she said, my mother's always giving me, extra work and whatever else. A teenager, sometimes she goes through those challenges. But what's amazing, and that's the point of this story, is that what happened was that she confided in her that it was difficult for her. So Tahara says, why don't you just convert to Islam? She was a secret missionary. Why don't you just convert to Islam and the Prophet Muhammad, and then you'll be free from all of this? Whoa, I didn't expect that. And she was totally baffled, and it's according to her parents, and we'll see what happened to her afterwards. She never intended to go so far, but this Tahara already saw that she could claim some type of merit in her zichut, chas v'shalom, the lashon sagi nahor. It's a euphemism. and she ran over right away to the governor and said, "Here, this Solika, this beautiful lady, she agreed that she's going to be she's going to convert to Islam." Where at that point, this governor saw this, and for him, it would have been a great accomplishment. So right away, he goes to you. He goes there and he tells her that, "I heard that you made this decision that you are going to be converted, and as you converted to the Prophet, and once you say that, you can't go back." So they say, well, that's what we heard. So this friend set her up, and she tells him the following: "You have been deceived, sir. I have never pronounced such words. She proposed it to me, but I did not consent. A Jewess I was born, a Jewish I wish to die." That's when everything started. The story goes on, and I guess we'll have to continue it in different parts. And one point that we are going to see is that the amount of determination that she has is something that is incredible. The amount of sufferance that they put her in, the amount of opportunities that they gave her to retract for nothing, not even for marrying somebody at the end. She refused to proclaim. We will also learn about the Bet Din of Fez at the time, Rabbi Rafael Tzarfati and others, that told her that it could be she has permission in such a situation not to let herself be killed. We'll see the exact details and why and the circumstances and how the Jews were able to recuperate her body. That'll come, but at least we started with part one.